Good. Let's get into it, okay? I ain't got much time because I got to eat and go to sleep. Okay. But y'all already know what time it is. All right. It's day 2 of the actual trial itself. Now, last week, the jury selection started, I believe, on Monday of last week. They finished that yesterday morning, the jury selection, found a jury, and went ahead and got started that afternoon. Like they weren't playing. Okay. So I'm just gonna go over and cover the little bit of information I've been picking up from everywhere. So yesterday's trial started with the opening statement from Emily Johnson, which I'm assuming is the prosecutor. And she talked about Diddy being a cultural icon. Then she spoke on his charges. What's up, Chris? So, she had to big Diddy up, well, not big him up, but pretty much explain who this man is. Because, of course, the jury, most of the people on the jury said they don't really know him that well. So she has to introduce Diddy to the jury, right? So she did that. She told him, all his accolades. And then she went into saying the charges and stuff. And let's see here. She also spoke about the alleged Cassie abuse. She talked about Diddy's people playing a role in the alleged crimes, his staff, and that's what the racketeering is about. So the racketeering is if you have people that's on payroll that's helping commit a crime. So I didn't say you guys because I'm trying to get through this very quick. But what's up, YouTubers? I hope you guys are doing very good. Make sure you subscribe to my YouTube channel here and give me a thumbs up. I really appreciate it. Yeah, let's get back to it. So the racketeering, if you don't know, is when you have people on payroll that are actually helping you commit a crime. So like prostitution is a crime. So if you're flying a prostitute out from one state to another state or even out the country, that's a crime. That would be ex-racketing, especially when drugs are involved and intercourse, of course, because those are all crimes. In most states, most drugs are a crime. So yeah. So he apparently Diddy did have a lot of people on his payroll. Cassie in the case today, when she was on trial today, she talked a lot about KK. Now, I've heard KK name being talked about like all last year. KK. Supposedly KK is the woman who handles everything. That's like Diddy's go-to assistant. What's up, B Fit? Beck Fit, Bofit, B Fit. What's up? What's up? Hello. Thank you for joining. I hope you are a member. If you're not a member, make sure you guys subscribe to my YouTube channel and give me a thumbs up. So yeah, Chris, we ain't with the mess now. People come on here with some crazy mess. We can go ahead and delete them, get them up out of here. Just to let you know, Chris. But yeah, so that's what the racketeering is about. When you got people on the payroll who are actually helping you commit a crime. So let's see here. So Emily made a statement saying this isn't Diddy's this case isn't about Diddy's ex practices. So just pretty much explaining real quick that this is not a case that is talking about Diddy's sexuality, how he likes to do things in the bedroom. It's not about that. It's about the illegal stuff. It's about having people who are being paid to have intercourse with you and whoever else, and you're taking them from one state to the next state. You're having rooms set up, rugs available, and people on call to go make certain runs to make sure people stay in the certain mind space. Because think about it, they said these freak offs would last for hours and even days. The one guy who got interviewed yesterday, he was one of the, I believe let's call him an escort. He was an escort. His name was Daniel Phillip. I believe yesterday, he testified and said that he was told by his company that he was going to like strip for a bachelorette party. And then he gets to the hotel and Cassie meets him in the hallway with a red wig on and some heels. Oh, yeah. 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 Oh, I'm glad Vinny brought up the free Diddy thing because I got a theory about that as well. But anyway, so back to yesterday. Emily Johnson, she pretty much was just setting the tone for how what they're looking for, what you're going to hear, and all this. So she said victim 3 was barely talked. Victim 3 was barely talked about. So a lot of people have been talking about this victim 3, who Tisa Tell. She's actually in New York covering the footage. I've been listening to her as well as Inner City Press, and who else? Amar Wiggins. And I haven't watched any mem stuff because they pretty much provide everything. But today I got Pam Esquire, the law intellect, and she went into like pretty much everything. She had everyone watching the Inner City Press along with her, and we were just, getting the information as the guy, I believe his name is Mark, as he posted it. But anyway, victim 3, but Tisa Tell says that victim 3 may be what's the girl name? The girl who went and got interviewed with Tasha K. Now that was years ago. And I remember Vina, dog, I can't think of her name. But I remember when she did that, the girl, she's like an Asian chick or something. I remember when she did that interview on Tasha K. And I said then, I was like, that lady is not lying. She is not lying. I believed her because she seemed like she probably was hurt that he left or he stopped using her. And that's probably why she did the interview, because right after she did the interview, she told Tasha K that P. Diddy hit her up and he told her he was going to pay for her apartment because I believe she was going through like not having a place to stay and stuff like that. And he told her he don't want her doing any more interviews and he paid for her apartment. And Gina, that's her name, Gina, the Asian chick. So that's who Tisa Tells thinks victim 3 is. Anyway, victim 3 has not officially been announced. So yeah, just to let you know about that, if you've been hearing about victim 3. Emily Johnson, the prosecutor, said the freak-offs were also called Wild Kingdom Nights or Wild King Nights. The allegations of the allegations are flying people across state lines, even to other countries and back. Emily talked about the alleged hotels these people would go to and have rugs there, and how the women how certain women had to wear lingerie. She probably what's up, Dwight? She probably was pretty much talking about Cassie and that manner there. But there are other female victims as well. So what I think they're doing here is they're trying to set the they trying to set it up real nice for you to know who this Diddy guy is, okay? And what type of activities he likes, and pretty much show like a reoccurring pattern that this guy has. So when you think about the racketeering and the X racketing, you understand how that fits in because he has a whole team of people that handle stuff for him. So when it came to the flights and flying people out of states and stuff like that, out the country, he would have his team doing that. So, and then when people or the escorts would come to the room, he would have stacks of money and he would give them stacks of money. So that's where it comes into looking like X racketing, like illegal things, because that is illegal. So, okay. So that just debunks what a lot of people were saying about how, oh well, he can have intercourse however he wants to have intercourse. That's his private thing. And this case isn't about that. It's not about how he likes to be pleasured. It's not about that. It's about the illegal activity. Him paying for people to have intercourse with, or not even him having the intercourse with. He paying for men to come to have intercourse with these women. You know, paying for them, paying for their flight, their hotel, everything. So, and then on top of that, they're being rugged, they're being held against their will. Some of them were not even paid because they didn't go through with the whole process. Because for the freak offs, Diddy had a whole process that he would go through. And if you wasn't, and if you, I think it was stages. It's like 3 stages to the freak off. And if you didn't go through the 3 stages or fulfill the 3 stages, then you wouldn't get paid as the escort. So it's real serious. It's real deep. Okay. Diddy was not playing. Not playing around. Um, oh, so they had to wear, women had to wear lingerie. They had to be real oiled up and greased up. The victim named Jane Doe, said Diddy was making her go to freak offs. He made her have unprotected intercourse. Diddy was sitting calm, looking at the jury. During the defense opening statements. This was all yesterday, so I'm just recapping yesterday for you if you didn't hear about it real quick. They talked about the government being in Diddy's room, the defense, of course, Diddy's team, and how that was unnecessary when they had the raid, that they would be in Diddy's room. But why not? Because if Diddy was actually recording certain acts, then they need to find that out. Okay, shoot, I want to know too. So let's see here. They said Cassie was jealous. So this is Diddy's team yesterday. They said that Cassie was jealous of Kim Porter and she went to the funeral even though she was jealous. They said Diddy's defense told jurors that victims wanted more attention from him, and Cassie didn't want to testify unless her husband was there. So I know today, that's weird that they brought that up yesterday, because today they Diddy's team, soon right before everything started, court started, Diddy's team requested from the judge to have Cassie's husband leave the courtroom. And they went through a whole thing trying to figure out, well, why would he need to be taken out of the courtroom? Anyway, I believe they said they went against it. They didn't want to take him out of the courtroom because it wasn't necessary. But the defense was saying that they may want to question him as well. So get him up on the stand. So we're going to see what happens with that. That's crazy that that was brought up yesterday. The prosecution came back and says that Diddy knew former employees who Cassie was dating. So Diddy was trying to say that certain employers of his dated Cassie. I mean, I guess we could kind of believe that that could happen because, of course, Cassie ended up dating the trainer that Diddy hooked her up with. And I wonder if he was a part of any freak-offs, but I don't know, because he is a white guy, and Cassie did make it clear today that Diddy liked big black men. So, not her. Mind you, okay, Diddy wanted her to have intercourse with men of his liking, okay? Of his liking, not Cassie's. She could only recruit certain guys to work for this position, okay? Okay. Okay, so let's see here. Make sure I got everything here. Um Okay, so they said KK, what's her name? I forgot. Anyway, KK, she is an employee of Diddy's. They said she was in charge of handling all the light work and setting up the rooms and stuff for wherever they were going to have the freak offs, because they had the freak offs in different states and different hotels. A couple of Diddy's homes, one in Miami, New York, LA, hotels in Miami, LA, New York, and a whole bunch of other places, even out the country. Also, they said that the prosecution yesterday said that Diddy was actually waiting. He would harass Cassie and pretty much like hound her, like follow her, be looking for her, like send his people to look for her, like his bodyguards or different people. He would make them go find her, or he would just like post out, like camp out at her house, outside her house in like a van or like a black SUV, and he'll wait there until she comes home. And one day she did come home, and he suspected that she was messing with an employee or someone else, and he jumped out of the car and dragged her in the house and whooped her real good. So yeah, they're pretty much, the prosecution was definitely setting us all up for what is to come, because today was whew, OMG. Okay, I can't wait to get into that part. So let's see here. So Diddy's team is pretty much going to say that Cassie was crazy about him. They both were crazy about each other. This is just a lover sprawl. They both enjoyed having intercourse with, or they both enjoyed what they did together. So it wasn't like Diddy, it was all on Diddy. It was because of Diddy. That's pretty much what Diddy's defense is trying to say to protect Diddy. Um, okay, so the first person they got on the stand, they called was the security guard. He was the security guard at the hotel that was involved in that video where we saw Diddy kick stomping Cassie and everything. So he said that he got a call, what we didn't see on the tape, because remember when they were going through all the pretrial stuff, Diddy's defense team was trying to tell the court that the tape was pretty much chopped and screwed, and it was missing parts and stuff. Okay, come to find out, the missing parts was actually more criminal than what we did see, because Cassie was actually, she ran out the room, she went and tried to grab a phone to call security. Diddy caught her, and then that's when he like threw something at her. So, and then she tried to escape. She couldn't. The security guard who was interviewed yesterday, he ended up turning into a LAPD, a lieutenant for the LAPD. So he done went up in the ranks somehow. I don't know. But anyway, he testified yesterday, and he said that he saw a guy, a black male with a towel on that floor, and he realized something, and he got the call, but the call was short. The call got hung up, so he went down there on the sixth floor to find out what was going on. So by the time he got to the sixth floor, he saw Diddy and Cassie, and he was trying to resolve, whatever the problem was. He told them to go back in their room and be quiet, and he said, that Cassie was pretty much trying to leave. Diddy was trying to get her to stay, but Diddy wasn't being violent towards her at the time or in his presence. But you could tell that Cassie was very upset and probably was being held against her will. Now, the lieutenant or the security guard at that time, he did also say that he only saw a piece of the footage at that time, when he went down there on the sixth floor. So, he rushed down there to see what was going on. And he said when he took them in a room, because he told them they need to go in the room, they're making a lot of noise, disturbing other guests and stuff. So he said when he took them in a room, there was a guy in there with all black on. So I'm trying to figure out, well, who was this dude? but he probably was the escort or something. But anyway, so the guy said that Cassie was saying she's going to leave. Diddy was saying, no, you're not. And the security guard said backup had came at this point, and I guess Diddy and Cassie were arguing. So the one of the other security guards pretty much put his forearm against Diddy on the wall to try to hold him back, and he said that Diddy tried to bribe them with a whole stack of money. He said Diddy had a handful of money that he told him, I'll give you this money if you get rid of that footage. Like, give me that tape. I need that tape. And the security officer said that no, he couldn't do that. He couldn't give him the tape. So he said he walked Cassie out of the hotel. She got into a black SUV with a very tall guy who was probably about 7'1", he said. And he said he didn't know who the guy was. He didn't question who the guy was. Cassie knew who the guy was, and she left safely. So that ended everything. He said he told Diddy that, they made a very big mess in the room. And so, because remember in the hallway, Diddy threw the vase at Cassie. We did see that on the video, and I'm pretty sure it broke. But and if that was, probably wasn't real flowers. But anyway, so Diddy's team is pretty much once they came, the defense came and cross-examined the security guard, who was the security guard at the time, but now he's a lieutenant for Los Angeles. But the defense came and they said, oh, so you told Diddy that he had caused a lot of damage in the room. So that big amount of cash he was trying to give to you to pay off, the damages from the room, right? They were trying to turn it into that. And the security guard, he was like, no, that's not what it was. He was trying to get that tape, and I couldn't give him that tape. So, I had to tell him I couldn't give him that tape. And he wasn't too pleased about that. So he said everything was calm. So he went back up to his room. Up to his office. And he said he wasn't very detailed in his documentation about the incident, because in the past he never had to be very why I can't find the words I need, specific about the details. So he said he did leave out a lot of stuff that, of course he was saying yesterday in the courtroom, because Diddy's defense was like, okay, well, you're saying that Diddy offered you money, but you didn't put that in the case that you submitted. And he said, no, because I wasn't going to give it to him, so I didn't think it was needed for the report. And then Diddy's defense was like, okay, well, you're saying that he offered you a whole bunch of money, but you told him that the room was a mess and it needed to be repaired. So he was just giving you the money. And it's like, okay, all right, y'all playing, right? Because y'all know good and well what this huge celebrity with a lot of power was probably trying to do. But, they tried their best. I'm really curious to find out how this goes here, because it's like you can clearly see that this was criminal activity. Definitely. You can clearly see it. But, at the same time, it just have to be proven, and the jury has to believe it's a criminal case, right? So anyway, Emily also said there are witnesses that saw Diddy stomp Cassie in the face other than in the hotel. Okay, yeah. So Daniel Phillip was interviewed yesterday. Now, he was the first escort that was interviewed. And he got on the stand yesterday. He was 5'8", football built, real stocky, nice shape. You could tell he works out. He said Cassie had a stack of money. She told him that her and her husband wanted to have fun. So that's the one I was telling you guys about, that he said that he thought he was coming to dance for a bachelorette party. And then when he got there, Cassie told him, well, actually, her husband, she said, is into voyeurism. How do you say that word? I don't know. I guess it's when a guy likes watching his woman be have intercourse with other guys. Voyeurism. Now I can't even say the word. Now I done said that word a couple of times today, but now I cannot get it out. Anyway, so Cassie asked him, do you want to go through with this or not? Because you're not going to get paid unless you do this, that, that, and that. And he agreed. And he said that after a while, he was just like, okay, because they kept calling him to different places and stuff. So he thought that night was going to be the only night. But he said he ended up being a regular for a little bit, because he said at some point he got concerned about his health. And he asked Cassie to show proof of her medical records. And he said he even volunteered his medical records so she could see it, but she wouldn't give him hers. And I'm thinking, if you need to go through all that, sir, you just need to not do that. Because if you're willing to give up your medical record and show what status you have, regarding any STDs, and they won't do that, the person you're having intercourse with won't do that, then we got a problem here. And why are you worrying about your status? That makes me wonder. But anyway, first of all, let's be real clear. If you don't know, I've already did a video about Jonathan Odie, who was interviewed, I believe, in 2016 or 2018. I think it was 2018. But he was one of the escorts that was into this freak off activity with Diddy and Cassie. And he was the first one that actually came out and told what was going on. But he got in trouble because he ended up shooting up a Trump building. Well, he didn't shoot up the Trump building. He shot the police that came in, because allegedly he told everybody to get out and called the police. So once the police came in, they were shooting at him and he was shooting at them. So, yeah. Anyway, but in that interrogation room, Jonathan Odie said that Diddy and Cassie gave him herpes. Now, I don't have to say alleged, because you can look this up. You can look that video up. And I actually have it on one of my videos where he says that he caught a STD from them. He said both of them. And he said he sued Diddy, and I believe he got like $5 million. And just recently, I think that was like the end of last week, everybody was talking about how they found the proof that Diddy actually did pay Jonathan Odie for a settlement, but they don't know why. So Jonathan Odie said that Diddy didn't want to pay him. So I guess everything came out positive for those STDs, or whatever that STD was. Diddy had to pay him, and he didn't want to pay him. So Diddy was trying to figure out a way to pay him without making it look like a settlement or whatever. So anyway, he said he had to wait a while, and then Diddy did end up paying him. And after he got paid, that's when he did that whole little stunt at the Trump building and everything. So we know that old girl at least got herpes. Okay? I mean, you ain't got to do much investigation to figure that out. Yeah. You don't. So, yeah, anyway, with the first escort, I'm thinking, if you got to go through that, then, sir, you don't need to be doing that, okay? Because, like, if you're worried about your health and these people won't give up their health information, then you already know what time it is. They're not caring. And so this guy, Daniel Phillip, who testified yesterday, He also said that one of the times that he was actually involved in a freak off. Whew, I'm yawning. He said that he was paid a whole bunch of money. He didn't say how much. He just said a whole bunch of money he was paid. And he said that he got so high that he went to Times Square and he was just handing out $100 bills to everybody on the street because he was so high. And he was like he wouldn't have done that if he wasn't that high off drugs, but he said that he was doing drugs that he normally don't do. So I'm assuming he don't do drugs or rugs, but he tried it because of that money. That money sound good, and then he didn't like it for some reason and stopped doing it because he said he stopped being a part of the freak offs because they wouldn't give up their medical records, and he felt like something wasn't right about that. And he said he didn't like the way that Cassie was being treated, and he also said that Cassie left out of the room one time when during the freak off, and he heard Diddy like punching her around, like pretty much assaulting her in the other room. So, okay, a lot of people are going to be saying that during this trial that they witnessed or heard about Cassie being very abused. And I'm thinking about, okay, like this. I'm a woman. Men be abused too. Men get abused in relationships. I know that for a fact. Okay, it's not just the male, it's just not just a female thing that females get abused in their relationships. But most of the time when you have victims of like DV, domestic violence, those victims usually do not leave their abuser. They usually don't, y'all. Like, that's common knowledge, right? Like, you know what? Everybody knows an abused person who stayed with that abuser for years, right? So that's not like, oh, you get abused and then you just leave. And then we're talking about Diddy here. Okay, Diddy has power. Okay, he can make a lot of stuff happen. I can't wait till we find out about the Kid Cudi stuff. So, and I didn't find out how it ended today, if Cassie's going to be back on trial tomorrow, because she started today. Today was her full day. Yeah. But let's get back here. Let me see if I missed anything. Oh, Diddy code name was Black. So his name was something Black and her name was something Star or something. Their code names for when the escorts would come to the hotel. So of course, you know, celebrities not going to use their real name when they go check into a hotel. So they had code names. So the Daniel Phillip escort guy, when he was on trial yesterday, he that's on the stand. Yeah, because Diddy's on trial, right? See, I don't even know my court lingo. But he said that they had code names. So when he would when he would meet them at the hotel, he would just say Black. So he'll know which room to go to or whatever. Let's see here. Oh, he also said that they would be so high. He said that they will go on and on for days. He said even like 6 hours at a time. 6 hours. Can you imagine poor Cassie's VJJ? Girl, you got to do two guys. She even testified today that she had to do like 2, 3 guys at one time, including Diddy. I'm surprised she could have children. I mean, can we talk about it, ladies? Because today, right? So Cassie gets on trial. Today is her first day on trial, right? And she's going in. She's saying how she was 21 when she met Diddy. Now, I thought I heard that she was younger than that. I thought she was like 18, 19. I feel like she might not be she might not be have been honest about that. She might haven't been honest about what age she was when she met Diddy. Maybe that's when they got together, because I thought she was like 18, 19 when they got together, but maybe not. I don't know these people. Okay, this is all based I'm basing this all on what I heard them say. Okay, I don't know these people. But I think that's all the notes from yesterday. So today, Cassie gets on the trial today. Yeah, she's very pregnant. I believe she's like about to give birth. Like she's very pregnant and still very gorgeous girl. But I'm talking about her vajayjay, y'all. Like, how in the world she didn't mess that up having intercourse with all these guys? So she gets on the on the stand today, and she tells how she was very much in love with Diddy. He took her away from her boyfriend, she said, or her producer. I'm not sure if the guy was the producer, or anyway, she had a boyfriend. Yeah, because he was a producer. He was producing her. And then went to, she was at a party. She met Diddy and he kissed her. And she said, I think it was her birthday party. He came there, he kissed her, and she was just like, oh, all googly eyes, and just ecstatic that this huge celebrity, okay, this person who can advance her career, had kissed her. And she said at the time she was with someone, but then that ended very quickly after she told them that she was with Diddy. So she said the freak off started very like ASAP. She said she met once they got together. Then Diddy got her right on rugs real quick. He asked her if she what she knew about Molly and if she wanted to try Molly, and she said she did, and he popped one in her mouth, and then it was on and popping from there. She said that the Diddy told her that he was going to advance her career. She was going to be a huge musician, and she believed him and trusted him. She said she did that one album and that was it, but she wrote over 100 songs. This is what she said. And she said in the studio, and she said only one album came out though. So the prosecution asked her, because she was only interviewed, I believe, by the prosecution today. So tomorrow is going to be the cross examination, and we already know Diddy's team, they got overnight to think about what they're going to ask her. Man, she gonna go through it tomorrow, bro. I hope she gets some rest tonight, because it's gonna be real rough for her tomorrow. You know they're gonna go in. But I like how the prosecution, they know that Diddy's team is going wants to embarrass her. So what they did today was pretty much genius in my opinion, because they questioned her and asked her a lot of stuff that was uncomfortable, like, were you a part of freak offs? Did you enjoy having freak offs? Did you love Diddy? Did you want to be a part of the freak offs? Did you want to stop? She actually said that she liked having the freak offs, but she preferred to be with him. And she said that he would get upset when she didn't want to have freak offs. And so he would call other women. Excuse me. And when he couldn't get other women, I got nothing to drink. And when he couldn't get other women, or when he couldn't get her to do it, after he would manipulate her and call her predictable. She said that if she would say that she didn't want to do it, he would be like, oh, you just predictable. And I don't understand that one. But I guess he trying to say that he knew that was going to happen. I could see a master manipulator saying something like that. I've been in a relationship with a guy before, and if I said no about certain something in particular, now let's not get it mixed up. I haven't been in a like abusive relationship where a guy was like constantly abusing me and stuff like that. Haven't been through anything like that. But manipulators are a real thing, okay? And that could be male or female. just to be honest. But I understand exactly how somebody could say, "Oh, you don't want to do that? Oh, you a square, like, or something like that." So I can definitely understand when she says that, something she wanted to do and something she didn't, and if she says she didn't want to do it, that would make Diddy mad, and depending on how he's feeling, he might whoop her behind, or he'd just go grab someone else because he knew that would make her mad because she was in love with him. And and I'm thinking, because their relationship was pretty much just based on having intercourse and doing rugs together. So I'm thinking, if she's not around him and she doesn't have access to those rugs, even if she said she didn't want to do the freak off, she probably still wanted to do the rugs, because most of the rugs with the D, if you don't know what I'm talking about, they're addictive. So you can't just do them like one time and don't feel that urge to want to do it over and over and over again. So I'm pretty sure that her staying close to him was because of the rugs. She had access to them. She was saying that she did cocaine, mushrooms, Special K, which is like a hallucinant, um, some other rug called G something. I don't know, y'all. Only thing I've heard of is like cocaine. That other stuff, I don't know what they talking about. I don't know what that is, and I'm glad I don't. But but it just sounds very sick, and it sounds like she pretty much was just being used. She ended up saying during her testimony today that she felt like she was just being used as just being used. You know, she felt like Diddy didn't really love her. He was actually just wanted to get off. I mean, and if you think about it, Diddy has so many women that he was going through, and they probably all had to go through stuff like this, right? So Cassie said that she had to wear a certain type of lingerie. She had to have her nails painted white. They had to be white. She said that she had to be tanned. She had to have a fresh um bikini wax. She had to be waxed freshly down there. She had to be tanned. She ended up getting piercings on her private parts because Diddy wanted her to have piercings. I don't know if y'all remember, but Diddy made her cut her hair off, shave her hair off on the side, because he was up to the sky. And he saw a lady with that hairstyle, and he told her she had to get it. Now, I remember that conversation right there from when Young Jock told it. And then after he told it, he had to backpedal and say, "Nah, nah, I ain't mean it like that. No, she wanted it." So I bet he got a call from Diddy real quick, because I remember Young Jock, he told that story about how he was at a Diddy party, and Diddy saw a girl with her hair shaved off on the side, and Diddy said, "Cassie, you're getting that." And she said, "Okay, whatever you want." But she talked about on the stand today how, she did anything to please him. She just wanted to please Diddy. So she had these free calls that she didn't really want to do. She would prefer to just have intercourse with him, but he made her find these escorts so that he could watch her have intercourse with them, and then once they discharge on her or in her, she would have to pull it out and go in the other room and put it on his nipples, like, child. Yes, of course. Child. I, I'm like, I was just like, what? I don't understand because he wanted her. Diddy wanted Cassie to have a certain. You laughing? He wanted Cassie to have to hire a certain type of guy, even though Cassie wasn't using her money to hire these people. Diddy was using his money. Not only was he paying for them, um, oh, I guess he had to pay in cash once they came. But not only were they thinking they were coming to do something that wasn't even that bad, because they were always tell the escorts that they needed them. I've been good, Dwight. They were always tell the to get the escorts to come there. They would say something like, "Oh, we just need you to strip," or "We just want you to do something really that sound too good to be true." And then by the time the escort get there, they're offering them to have intercourse for hours and hours and will pay them huge amounts of money, because the Daniel Phillip guy, he said that one time he was trying to leave, and Cassie offered him $4,000 to stay. So they just handing out all types of money. He's unhinged. I'm like, Diddy is crazy because I mean, him watching the way Diddy treats women, that's not the way a straight man would treat a woman. Now you have your narcissist type of guys, but usually, if they say they're straight, they're straight. But Diddy wanted Cassie to get the discharge stuff from the guy out of herself, if it was inside of her or in her mouth, wherever it was at. And he wanted her to put that on him and rub it on him. So I was thinking, well, why wouldn't he just do his own freak off and make his own? I guess he can't make his own calls. I don't know. So anyway, so Cassie was saying that these freak offs will go on for days and days at a time. She said for 5 days. Like, I can't even imagine anyone's vagina being used and abused to that point right there. And you can still use it to have children. Like, her children are miracles. They're miracles. Because think about all that. They will have these freak offs for hours. She said, Daniel Phillips said that the guy who was on the stand yesterday, who testified yesterday, he said that he said sometimes he would sit in the room for hours waiting on them to come back. But what they were doing were they would go either have course intercourse themselves, or they'll get freshed up, get washed up, eat something, and then come back and then use him as if nothing, as just to continue the party on. So he'll be sitting waiting for 4, 6, 8 hours, waiting on them to come back, because he couldn't leave, because he was told not to leave. So I guess they didn't want to run the risk of him not coming back, so they forced them to stay. Probably paid them extra for that. Now, again, where the racketeering comes in at is if the staff was involved in setting up things that were illegal, like prostitution, okay? Setting up flights and stuff. So, Cassie even told today, while she was on the stand, that Diddy's staff and his staff, including his like manager and his bodyguard, would go get people. They would bring money for people in escorts. They would bring stuff. They would bring, if they ran out of party favors like Astroglide and Johnson and Johnson baby oil. They done Diddy done gave Johnson and Johnson a bad name. They already had a bad name because their products is not safe for people anyway. But Cassie said that Diddy expected anybody in the freak off, or everybody in the freak off, to be heaven Why I can't get my words out today? Oiled up. And I mean buttered up, okay? Real shiny. She said that they would have to use warm oil. So she would have to put it in the microwave. Now, I'm thinking about this because I do know that certain hotels don't even have microwaves in the room. So I guess any hotel they go to, they got to make sure they have a microwave. Well, I guess you could pay for the microwave to be in the room, and he's a celebrity, so of course he's gonna do that. Okay, so I'll take that back. I wish I wouldn't even said it, but I do know that certain hotels don't even have microwaves in the rooms nowadays. But he would just pay for one and get one in there. But she said that if they ran out of any supplies like Astroglide or baby oil or rugs, then they would just call Diddy staff, or they'll have someone from like the who worked at the hotel to go get it. So I'm pretty sure they'll pay them a whole bunch of money, or let them know, we'll pay you, um what they call it, we'll pay you a lot of money to go pick up certain stuff if they ran out. So also Cassie said that Diddy would get like the inflatable like plaything, that inflatable like jumpy thing that children use for like parties and stuff. She said that Diddy would fill that up with baby oil and Astroglide. And she would get in there with a bikini and rub herself all on it, and then they will have intercourse. So she said the lubrication had to be on point. She said that the rooms, like the scene afterwards, would be horrific. She said it would smell very bad. She said it would be blood in the room. It would be baby oil everywhere, baby oil. She said all types of stuff would be in there. Like she said, even one hotel had to remodel the whole room. Like the floor plan was all the way different. Now, how did she know that? Did they go back and mess up the room again? I don't know. But I just know this all sounds very crazy. Like, I can't believe this is actually going on. This is crazy. And I wonder, like, I know her husband has to know all this already. She probably then told him this doing pillow talk or whatever. But remember, Diddy's team, his defense team, is going to um, interview Cassie tomorrow. So it's going to be real rough for her tomorrow. I hope she gets a lot of rest. Whew. Matter of fact, she don't need no rest because her lawyers need to be trying to prep her for what's going on. And today, while she was testifying, they would ask her like questions that were pretty much like a yes or no question, and she would volunteer a lot of information. So it's crazy that she did that today, because I'm thinking tomorrow she's probably not going to do that. She's probably going to stick to yes or no, to try to play it safe. I don't know, because that can get real tricky there. But and remember, the only thing that they're really trying, that Diddy has to or that the prosecution has to, the prosecutors, yeah, the prosecutors have to do is they have to show that there were actually like a team of people helping to perform illegal activity. I feel like today that was like a no brainer, because Cassie was talking about how all the staff had to do certain things. Oh, Cassie also said today that she would get in trouble with Diddy and he would take her phone or take her laptop. and then she wouldn't have access to her laptop. And the prosecutor asked her, "So who would take your laptop?" And she said that Diddy would get KK to take it or his bodyguard. And they asked her, "Well, when would you be able to get your stuff back?" And she said, it was all up to Diddy. So like the manipulation was, and that's the illegal practice, because why would his team need to gather your equipment, you know? But so yeah, the defense, they got a lot of work to do, child. They got a lot of work to do, but it don't look good because Cassie said that she was getting people off Craigslist, off Backpage, people from anywhere. So if she didn't have, by the time she got, I think they were saying that Daniel Phillip, the guy the escort who testified yesterday, they were saying he was like the third person they hired to do the freak off with. But, whew, excuse me, I'm sleepy. But yeah, so if he was questioning his health, just think about how long they went. Cassie and Diddy were together 10 years, y'all, if you don't know. 10 years. And she said that was pretty much the basis of their relationship. He would not let her work on another album. The prosecution asked her, how did she get paid? She said she got paid from the freak offs, which means if she didn't do the freak offs, then she didn't get paid. And they were like, well, did you have money for this, that, and that, and that? And she was like, yeah, she had money for that because she got the money from performing in the freak offs. So not only if she don't perform in the freak offs, she knows someone else is getting that big time money, okay? The type of money that could pay your rent, pay all your bills and stuff. So that makes me think about Young Miami, or who we call nowadays Carisha. Carisha, please. Cassie said that she would be peed on by Diddy and the other escorts. She said at one time, three different men, including Diddy, peed in her mouth and she was choking. First of all, not one man gonna pee in my mouth. Not one man gonna pee on me. Okay? That ain't nothing cute about that. Ain't nothing sexy about that. I don't even know why that's necessary. That ain't necessary. What's the turn on about pee? Pee stink. It stinks for one. Okay? And I think you could get like an infection or something, like, I don't know. Pee, you're not supposed to be ingesting pee. I don't know, child. All I know is Cassie lucky to be alive. It's not funny, but she did choose to be there. I mean, oh my goodness. Me saying that probably sounds very hurtful, right? Well, anyway, you guys, I hope you guys subscribe to my channel, because I will be following up and keeping up with the whole Diddy trial here. Um, yeah, I would keep you guys in the know about what's going on with Diddy trial. When I saw Cassie was testifying today, I had to go ahead and post that real quick just so everybody know. But yeah, you guys, make sure you leave me a thumbs up and subscribe to my YouTube channel so we could talk about this Diddy mess together. Y'all get in the comment section. Let me know how y'all feeling. Leave me a message. Let's talk about it, okay? Chris, I gotta call you too to find out about Cardi B them, find out what's going on with them. Yeah, I love you too, Chris. I love you guys. Make sure you guys stay safe. Okay, so we can watch this, so we can continue to follow this Diddy case. All right. You guys, be good. Be good. Don't be getting peed on. Cause that's just nasty. Okay. What else? Stay clean. Like after hearing all that, it just makes me just like, oh my goodness, I can't even imagine like the aftermath, the after effects of going through all that right there, and then having to deal with like everyday life. Like, that is so weird to me. So weird. And I saw yesterday, real quick, I saw the family coming out of the courthouse yesterday. So all of the children are there. Now yesterday when Daniel Phillip was testifying, he actually, the twins, they actually got up and left a couple of times during his testimony. But today they sat there and listened to everything Cassie had to say today. And Tisa Tills brought up a great idea, because anytime you saw like a party of Diddy's, whether he was on a yacht or at his house, his children were always there. So I see a lot of people talking about, oh, this man's children is there. Y'all not worried about the children. What about the children? First of all, I think all those children are grown. I think they've all at least graduated high school. So I would consider them as grown. And they knew what type of content was going to be talked about in the courtroom. So why are you bringing your butt there? Oh, okay. That brings me to another point. So I believe, this is just my opinion, I believe Diddy paid for some supporters to be outside or inside of the courtroom. Because for some reason, it's a lot of grown men that kind of have the same look about them. That's like outside of the courthouse saying like they support Diddy. Diddy needs to be free. Free Diddy. They're in the courthouse wearing free Diddy t-shirts, not guilty t-shirts and stuff like this. And I'm thinking, for Diddy? We all know all the mess Diddy has been accused of doing. Okay? All right, taking out a lot of people, stealing, robbing a lot of people pretty much with those contracts. Making sure that him, his mom, and his son received all the money from the songs that other people made and stuff. So it's like, what? Where do these people come from? He has so many supporters. I'm like, and they're males. Like when I'm watching different people's footage and stuff, it's these grown black men. And I swear they all look alike. Like they're a whole bunch of clones. They all look alike. Y'all pay attention. Something's going on here. And they're all saying free Diddy. Diddy should be free. This is all from the white man's trying to take down the black guy. Something's up about that. I don't feel right about that. I feel like that's the setup, and somebody probably paid some people. If you think about the whole Jay-Z situation when he was being sued by Busby, allegedly some members who probably was connecting him allegedly were trying to take down Busby's team. So they were contacting his old clients and stuff, old employees, going to their houses, asking for information, telling them to not do this and not do that. So yeah, I mean, anything is possible when it comes to people of power doing it. So I don't know. I guess we'll see, or we'll just be left to speculate. But I feel like those some paid actors, in my opinion. Oh, and yesterday, so the whole family walks out. The mom was holding on to Christian very tight. Christian is the one that looks just like Diddy, and I remember his name now because remember Kim Porter in the book said she wanted to give him like a biblical name, so his name Christian. So Christian was holding on to the grandma real tight. I'm thinking, I wonder if she got some health problems or something, because I don't know. I don't know. I was just wondering. So Chance was there. The twins were there. All the sons were there. And Misa was there. And Misa was walking with a walker. Like her foot is messed up. So I'm not sure what happened to her. I wonder if she had to be threatened to come. I guess we will never know. because I know she got some stories to tell. If you don't know, Gene Deal said that Diddy, allegedly Diddy beat her so bad she ran up under a car to hide from him. So, but he's probably paying all her bills. So she's probably not going to say anything, because I'm thinking, I remember not too long ago, what, a year or two ago, her son with Diddy, who don't look like his son, but he got pulled over by the police, a guy in an accident or something, and she made a whole public statement that she was taking him away from Diddy and he's not going to be a part of that mess, but she didn't say what mess it was. It was real kind of cryptic, and now you sitting up here at the courthouse every day. She's probably sitting in there hoping he gets convicted. And the other baby mama was there too, Love's mom. Love is the youngest child. Um, that mom was there. Love's mom. Oh, and it's alleged that 50 Cent baby mama is going to be one of the women who testified, or could have been the Jane Doe that testified yesterday. So I don't know, child. It's getting good. It's getting deep. I was ready to see Cassie on the stand. And yeah, so yeah, I look forward to what's coming tomorrow. And I definitely will keep you all updated on the latest info. Make sure you guys again like and share this video here. Subscribe to my channel so you can get all the news, okay? Because we're gonna talk about it here, and we could talk in the chat. All right. I'll be watching all these people channels, and they don't even have time to talk to all the people that's in their chat. Here I am with nobody really in my chat. And I'm thinking I could be having so much conversation because I got the time. But anyway, you guys, I definitely want to get my subscribers up here. But thank you guys for watching. Hit that subscribe button so you'll know when I upload a video. Give me a thumbs up. I appreciate it. And you guys have an awesome night. Peace.